So today I'm going to talk about my breast cancer journey and where I am now, give you an update, talk a little bit about the whole process, and I hope you'll join me. Hey everyone, it's Melissa. In my last video, someone said, why don't you update us on your breast cancer journey? Where are you now? And I thought, well, that's a good topic. And I never know whether to talk about things like that or not, serious things. But when I watch other YouTubers, I like to see vlogs, I like to see hair, I like to see makeup, I like to see cooking, I like to see their life. And if that involves, some woes or anything going on in their lives, I like to see that too. So to start my journey, I feel like I need to go back to the year 1997. And the reason why is I was a 42-year-old woman. I had a 21-year-old daughter that was going to college in Memphis and a 17-year-old son that was a junior in high school. So during that time in a lot of my life, but during that time particularly, I was very ill. And, that was hard because, I had these kids that I wanted to do things with, but I was very ill with my Crohn's disease. And also, I had really, really heavy periods. And so my Crohn's disease was so bad, they said, we're going to have to cut some of your intestines out. And we're going to have to cut you all the way open. And then my doctor said, let's do a hysterectomy at the same time. I was anemic, I was in the hospital in and out. I was weak, I was just very ill. And they said, let's just take your ovaries, let's take your uterus, let's take everything that doesn't have to do with your intestines. Concentrate on your intestines. That's going to be the main focus for the rest of your life, is your intestines. So I said, okay, let's do that. So they opened me up and I actually had two surgeons that operated on me. So one of them did the hysterectomy, the total hysterectomy, and the other one did about an 18-inch resection of my intestines. And it was hard. That was about the hardest surgery I guess I've ever had. I developed abscesses. I had to go back into the hospital. It was just a difficult time. So they immediately, this is why I'm going back to this part, they immediately put me on hormones, HRT, and I took a hormone patch. So I started out at, I think it's 0.75. So they decided that for my age and everything, that would be a good, time to do it. And my mother was taking hormones and I thought, okay, that'll be fine. Yeah, I think that I probably need to do that because I hadn't started like menopause or anything. So that's what I did. I started using the hormone patch twice a week. And I went on Vivel. That was the name of it. It was a patch at first and eventually went to a dot. So that's what I did. I went on that, and my mother was on her hormones. And then 2 years later, my mother developed breast cancer. And so she went off her hormones, she had her breast removed, and she took tamoxifen. So within a year, it had metastasized to her liver. So within 2 or 3 years after that, she had passed away. So I went to the breast cancer center that I was going to, and I said, look, my mother has died from breast cancer, and I have several cousins that have breast cancer, and I did a genetic study, with them. I had a cousin that had ovarian cancer, had an aunt that had ovarian cancer. I had a lot of cancer in the family. And they said, yes, you need to come twice a year to be monitored, especially being on the HRT. So I said, okay, that's what I was going to do. So eventually, over the years in the 2000s, I decided that I was going to try to go to a lower dose. So I went to, I think is it 0.50? It's either 0.50 or 0.05, but anyway, 0.5. I went down to that. And so I, went and got, what they would do is they would have check me every 6 months. One time they would do a mammogram and an ultrasound, and the next time they would do an MRI. So I was going along like that. Mid-August, my son moved to Louisville to start going to school to become a preacher. They lived across the street, and I was, very upset. So we went up there. It was time for my MRI. We went up there to Louisville, and on the way back, I had an appointment the next day, the 11th of August. So we came back the 10th of August from Louisville after moving them. And I was sad, and so I called up to the breast center and I said, I'm going to postpone. It was time for my MRI, so I'm going to postpone the MRI this year. I'll catch it in 6 months when I have my mammogram. And they said, you really need to. You really need to keep your appointment. So I said, okay, I'll go. So I went, and of course they saw something. In fact, I had left the building and they called me on the phone to come back in, and I did, and he said, we've seen something, I'm pretty sure it's breast cancer, let's do a mammogram. Yep, after the mammogram, yep, still see it really looking like cancer. Did an ultrasound, yep, it really, we're sure it's breast cancer, but we're going to biopsy it. So that was on a Friday, and Monday they called me and said, yep, it's breast cancer, and referred me to an advocate. And don't be afraid to use advocates, because they know the doctors, they know the surgeons, they know the options that are available to you, they know the people that are good, or that would be a good fit possibly for you for the different areas that you need. So her name was Nancy, and I talked to Nancy at the breast center. She was very helpful, and she gave me the name of several doctors that they worked with, and I asked around, and I finally figured out the one that I wanted to go to. I went to him. I didn't know what I thought of him, because he said the first thing you have to do is go off that HRT. And I said, but I've been taking it so long, I want to stay on it. He said, I don't care, this is, that's the first thing you have to do. And so that's what I started doing. I said, can I start weaning myself off of it? And he said, of course, go ahead and do that. And we'll schedule the surgery on. So I got diagnosed August the 11th. I had an appointment a few weeks later, and then my mastectomy, I chose to have a double mastectomy since my mother had died of breast cancer. So they did that on September the 26th. They took both of them out, and came home and recovered. They put an expander in. They cut me from underneath, so they were able to save my skin and not cut me in the middle, but they cut me underneath. So they did that, and they put the implant in, and I had the drains and all that kind of stuff. I've talked about it before, and I know this is a repeat for some of them. Went through Christmas and everything. So he gave me the name of an oncologist that he wanted me to see, because he said, you talk to them, but I really want you to go on this medication called anastrozole. Anastrozole it treats breast cancer. It works by decreasing the amount of estrogen hormone your body makes, which slows or stops breast cancer cells from spreading or growing. He said, you're going to have to, I would like for you to be on that for 5 years. We got everything, and your lymph nodes were clear, which I was so blessed. Because I know so many of you have had it so much worse, but you need to stop the hormone, the estrogen, from being in your body, and you need to make sure that it doesn't come back, and that's your best shot to keep it from coming back. I forgot, it was a big percentage that it helped to keep it from coming back. So that's what I decided to do, and so that's kind of where my journey is now. One more thing that happened on February the 22nd, I had the expander taken out, and I had implants put in. It was a simple surgery. You just went back under there again, took it out, put it back in, sewed it back up, and I came home. Now, I am going to have one more procedure. He wanted to take fat out of my hips and thighs and insert it all around, and I knew it'd make my thighs real sore and everything. I didn't want to do it, and I talked him out of it, which I shouldn't have done that, because I went for my last appointment. He said, I can feel the implant right underneath here. it's awfully thin against your skin. We need to go back in and take some fat from your thighs and inject it into those different areas that are thin. So if the doctor suggests or the surgeon suggests that you need to do that, just go ahead and get it done, because now I've got to do a third surgery. I mean, I don't have to go to the hospital, but I have to go to the surgery center and they have to put me to sleep to do it. So, you know, that's a bummer. I'll be fine, and it's not like having the, you know, mastectomy or anything like that. But, you know, it's just an extra step that they could have done all at one time, except that I said, no, don't do it. So anyway, that's a little thing to tell you about. Okay, so that's where we are now. You know, when he told me, this was a couple of weeks ago when I went for my appointment, when he told me that I had to, you know, get that more work done on it, you know, I said, oh, you know, and he could tell I was disappointed. And he said, I'll tell you what, get through the summer, enjoy the summer, and then you come back in 3 months, we'll make an appointment and we'll schedule it then. So I said, okay. So that's what I'm doing now. We're going soon to, my son is graduating from his preacher school, and then we're helping them move back home. So this past year has been hard, and it's been sad, it's been worrying, it's been hopeful, it's been so many emotions going on. And it started kind of with my son leaving, because the next day is the day I got diagnosed. And then it is coming to an end now with the last of my surgeries and my son coming back home. And I say my son, it's his wife and his 4 children, grandchildren. So that's kind of where I am now. So I wanted to talk about how I feel now, because I'm going to be honest, I have a very mixed bag of emotions. And you know, this surprised me, the number one thing, and maybe it's not surprising, I just didn't know I would feel this way. The number one thing is, what if it comes back? And, you know, nobody can ever guarantee that you won't get cancer. And I shared that with my doctor, and he said, I know, you know, people feel that, and I guess it's a common feeling, but, you know, we got it early and we took the whole breast, and you're doing the anastrozole, you're doing everything that we know of, and so your chances are really, really good that it will never come back. But that's kind of what they told my mother too, and it did come back with her. So I think because it did with her, and by the time a year later it did come back and metastasize to her liver, she was in trouble, big trouble. So that is a worry. I have had some side effects. I feel like going off of the hormone replacement therapy and a double step going on the anastrozole that squelches any hormones. And so I thought I would go over side effects. I think the biggest, well, there's several big side effects, but they're able, I'm managing them. You know, I'm not in a desperate situation. I am managing them, because you just do, you know, that's what you do. You just manage it. And you just get on with your life, because I do feel so blessed, because so many people are going through chemo and all that kind of stuff, so I don't want to complain. But I'm just kind of telling you side effects that I've had. I think the number one has been sleep. I've never been a big sleeper. I mean, I've never gotten like 8 hours, but I would regularly get probably 5, 6, 7 hours, you know, and since I'm off the hormones and taking the anastrozole, I feel like that's a part of it. I don't sleep 5 hours. I sleep anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. And, you know, that's not quite enough. I get really, really tired during the daytime. And sometimes I lay down and take a nap, because I just feel like I need to. And what I'm going to try to do is not, make myself push through and not take a nap, so that maybe I can get the, bedtime thing a little bit better. And I know, here's the thing too, like I can't really take some of the vitamins that other people can. It's my body's complicated. Because of the Crohn's, I can't take this, or, I can't take like biotin for my hair or anything. I can't take collagen. I try these things and it messes up my intestines. I have, huge amounts of my intestines missing. So what's left grabs onto things. It was like it super absorbs or something, and it makes me sick. So I have to be careful. I can't take things that other people can get to take to help with their hair, help with their sleep, just different. I mean, like, the gummies that you can take, well, that makes my heart get out of whack because I got a heart condition, It's just like, I feel like I'm in post-traumatic stress syndrome a bit with my health. I feel like, I've had this and I fought it, and I've had this and I fought it, and I've had this and I fought it. And so, it can get discouraging. But sleep, that's my number one thing. And I can't really take too much of anything for it. Melatonin, that's been contraindicated for people with Crohn's disease, I've read. I know that several people that have Crohn's have said that their doctors told them not to take it. So I just have to be very careful with supplements and vitamins that other people can take because of the Crohn's. So the sleep has been an issue, and that is really common, I have heard. My hair has not done too terribly badly. I was afraid it was with the surgeries, being put to sleep, with the Crohn's disease, the vitamin probably deficiencies that I have, and I can't do the biotin or the collagen or anything. I was afraid my hair would get real thin, but it hasn't. It's probably thinned out some when I went to get my hair, like trimmed and stuff. She'll say, your hair's a little different. I know it's from all you've been going through in the surgery. It's a little bit different feeling, but it's not too terribly bad. And, I have thinner hair right through here, but the Naloxone is serving me well, and I do a little derma rolling right here and then put on my Naloxone treatment, and that seems to be doing pretty well for me. That has not been too bad of a complaint. My hair is not as good as it was, but I think it will probably get back okay again. I'm pretty hopeful about my hair, and so that hasn't been as big a concern as the sleep. Another, hot flashes. I don't know that I have hot flashes per se. I'm just generally a little warmer now than I used to be. So I will have to go turn on the air conditioner. Like right now, you can see my neck is red. And I probably need to go turn the air conditioner around a little bit. It's not like a flash. It's just like, so it's not dramatic. It's just, I'll realize I'm running kind of hot. But it's not like anything like that. It's just a little bit of warmth of, I feel warmer in, I used to freeze all the time. I don't freeze all the time now. I'm warmer than I used to be. So, that hasn't been too terribly bad because I can usually, I have noticed if I get excited or if I get mad, or if I have a high emotion, sometimes actually when I'm doing a YouTube video, I'll get really warm. And you'll notice that my neck will get really red. I think it's because I'm trying to explain something. I'm getting excited, talking to you all. Y'all give me hot flashes. Talking to you all, and so I'll feel warmer than usual. But it's not like, I was with someone the other day, and she had a hot flash, and she had to sit down, and she was like, it just overcame her, and it was real dramatic. I don't have that. But I just feel warmer. So I hope that makes sense. Weight gain. I did gain a little weight over Christmas. The Crohn's keeps my weight down because, I have to go to the bathroom so much. And so much of my intestines is missing that it just, there's not as much intestines to absorb as with other people. So I did gain a little weight. I didn't mind too terribly much. I'm tall, and I 5 or 10 pounds on someone that's real tall, it doesn't show up that much, 20 pounds does, but 5 or 10 pounds doesn't show up that much as it does with someone that is more petite. So I gained some weight over Christmas. I'm starting to lose it again now. I haven't tried to, but just naturally just starting to lose it again now. So, but I noticed that it did come off a little bit slower than it normally would have, and that's fine, But anyway, so I haven't really struggled with weight gain, but I think it's because I have Crohn's disease, so I don't know if someone else's experience would be different or not. So I was trying to think of anything else. The weight gain, the sleep has been a big problem. Emotions. I think I'm more. I don't feel as good. I mean, I told you in a previous video, I've never felt real good about myself. I think that's increased. I feel even a bit worse about myself. And, that's a shame. I feel maybe a little more worthless, not as full of worth as I did before. It's a mind struggle to refocus my goals and to tell myself that I'm doing okay, I'm very blessed, I've got kids, I've got this and that. I think it's a little bit of just the after effects of having your breast removed. Even if you don't have chemo and you're going to be okay and they caught it early, it is traumatic having your breasts removed. It just is. I fed my kids with them, and it just, I could remember when I first got them, and, it just is. It was me, and it's just hard to have your breasts removed. But, I'm past that now. They're gone. That's fine. But I don't think it so much has to do with the breast being gone that makes me feel a little more unsure of myself. It's not that I feel worse about myself. I feel a little more unsure about myself. I think I misspoke about that. I don't think I'm a mess now or anything like that. I feel like I'm pretty much the same person. I just feel a little more unsure of myself, unsure of the future, unsure of my goals, unsure of things that I was a little more sure of before. And I'm hoping it's just a little bit of after stress, of a little after trauma, and I mentioned the Crohn's and the surgery before in 1997. That wasn't even my first surgery. My first one was when I was a teenager. I wanted y'all to realize, to get to where I am right now and how I feel a little bit shocked. It had to do with the Crohn's and the breast cancer. So I feel a little bit, it's like when you're going through it, you feel like you're in fight or flight mode. So I've got to get these breasts out. I've got to get them. I've got to take the mess. I've got to make these decisions. Okay, I'm getting it done. Get the drains in. Do that. All that you need to do. Get healthy, all that you need to do. When you've done it, then it kind of sets in, I think. And then you realize, man, I've gone through a lot over this past year. It's been really hard. And that's when it starts kind of messing with your mind a little bit. Not bad. I'm okay. Not bad. But a little bit. It's made me unsure of things. And I do think that will pass. And if I feel like I need therapy on it, I will get therapy. I don't think I do. I'm working it out myself. But if I feel like I do, I would not hesitate to get therapy on it. So there's that. And I feel very blessed. I feel blessed that I did not have to have chemo. I feel blessed that I had a supportive husband, supportive family, supportive friends. My son's church was very supportive. I feel very, very blessed that I live in a small town where people rallied around me. My whole street rallied around me. Just people really reached out to me. And I feel so blessed with that. So I can't really feel sorry for myself, and I'm not going to. And I'm a very stubborn person. Yeah. Yeah, you just ask Doug. He says, "Oh, you're a Taurus. That's why you're so stubborn." But I am a very, very stubborn person. And so, by golly, I'm not going to let myself get down. That's why I tell myself, I am not going to let these things defeat me. I am going to keep on going. I am going to realize how blessed I am. And I am going to feel my worth. And so that's kind of where I am right now. Physically, I think I'm doing well. The sleep, I don't feel like I'm depressed. I feel like I'm a little unsure of myself and unsure of the future. Not really a depression. So that's where my emotions are. But I also do feel blessed. The sleep. The sleep is the biggest thing right now and I'm tired. I'm tired a lot during the day. And I know it has to do with the sleep at night, but sometimes I'm so bone tired. I just, and I'll need to cook and do things, and I'll just, or even do a video. And sometimes I think I can't sit down and do a video. I cannot open my mouth. I'm so weary. So I feel like things that will get better. And I'm hoping for it, and I'm working toward it. A good part of it is I need to probably get more walking in and more exercise, and that'll help me sleep better too. So that's kind of where I am now. I've talked for 30 minutes. I'll have to edit it down, but thank you for asking on my last video, you that did. I appreciate that so much. It touched me that you were interested and that you did ask me, but I'm doing well, doing very well. I don't think I'm doing too badly with all the hormonal changes. It doesn't seem to make me, I don't feel like I'm going to be running through the street screaming, or anything like that. It's just more of an uncertainty about life right now. And I think the longer I get past this, the more certain about life I'll be. I'll get back to feeling a little bit better about things, about myself, and my future. So thank you again so much for asking. Thank you for watching this. Please like and subscribe. I've noticed this past month or the past 4 weeks I've lost subscribers. And I'm not going to look anymore, because then I start thinking, what's wrong with me that they're unsubscribing to me and don't want to watch me anymore, so I can't do that. But if you haven't subscribed, boy, I sure would appreciate it. It helps my channel a whole lot, and liking it too, helps my channel a lot. But most of all, I appreciate everybody that I have met on here and on Instagram, especially those two places. Those are the two places I'm at, and I just appreciate you all so much. I couldn't have done it without you all and my family and the good Lord above. I tell you, those have been the things that have sustained me. Thank you. Talk to you all in a couple of days, and I'll see you soon. And take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.